saw the ingredients for the buttercream, but first, before we make the recipe, let's start over here with making some super fine sugar. You don't have to buy it in a box, put it in a food processor, and just let it rip for about 30 seconds or so. The cakes come out of the oven, and Janet's made a powder sugar, nice and heavy. And the other way, you just put it in your hand and go like this, it'll go real quick.
All right.
Yeah, it's perfect. There you go. And peel this off, which is pretty easy to do. I'm going to roll it the other way. You can roll it this way for a longer cake, or you can roll it for a great big wide cake for a big serving for just a few people. Do it this way and lift it up as you're rolling. And it won't roll once it dries out. So once you put it out there, you have to roll it, otherwise it dries in that rectangular position. There you go. This is going to be made a day ahead and now wrapped in some, take it out after it sets in this towel and wrap it in some plastic film. There you go. We can put that aside for a few minutes. Now the buttercream, you saw the ingredients. It's sugar and water, and we're cooking this to a 239-degree stage. It's to put your hands in ice, get them nice and cold, and I'm not forming soft ball. I can't feel it at all. But if my hands are cold and iced, I won't burn myself. Now, I don't recommend that, you know, everybody does this at home. It stays at 225. I'm not getting any type of a ball now at all. Here we are about 2 minutes later, and just until it starts to come together in my hand, and just so you can just barely see the soft ball. So it's ready. Now we'll move over here where we have egg yolks of all things. Think of this. Remember I've told you in other classes, especially sauce, what's the enemy of egg yolks? Heat. So here we're going to pour this. This amazed me when I learned how to do this the first time from Mr. Grossman. Here we have raw egg yolks, some of the fussiest things in the world to work with, and we are going to pour a 239-degree syrup on top. Break it up a little bit and start dripping this down the side. Just a drop at a time, introduce the syrup. And I try to position this so it's just rolling down the side of the bowl. No, real low. You leave it fairly low just in the beginning, and then we're going to turn it up real high. Glenda's made this with us before, so she knows this goes up high, but first we have to. Now we'll get a little bit more. As we start getting more syrup in, we start turning it up. All right, now it's all added, and it's extremely hot on the bottom. My reference point is going to be when this is cool, and it's going to be very light, pale colored, yellow, and it's not going to be hot at all down here. If you have to, stick your finger down there after the mixer is turned off. Stick your finger in and make sure that it's not warm at all, because the next step is going to be to add the butter. So we're going to let this go at a higher speed for approximately 5 to 6 minutes. You can see it's thick and really thick and light. This is a double batch, by the way, so the ingredients that you saw on the screen was for one batch. This is for 2. You want to use unsalted butter in my sugar syrup, and it's going to be the most phenomenal thing you've ever tasted. So I'm going to let Janet keep adding this, and I'm going to show the girls how to sugar some roses. We have fresh roses that we're using today. You want to get the sugar on the inside, and then using that superfine sugar, sprinkle it all over, and once it's coated, put them down. And you have to go back and do that again, because you'll see it gets very wet. In fact, it's starting to shine again. You coat it again with sugar. So pull the ugly leaves off if you have any that aren't real pretty. That's a really pretty one to do, because see how it opens up, just a couple of petals. So go ahead and pull any ugly leaves off, and then you can do the violets and the roses. All right, now we're going to let this get really thick and beautiful. The first time I ever made this, I turned it, looked like this. It was sloppy, it didn't work, and I hauled it into my cooking class the next day and showed Mr. Grousman, and he said, all you need to do is this. It needed another 30 seconds or a minute or so until it got to be really shiny. It only took about a minute to bring it up to that shiny stage. Then I added some Grande Marnier to taste, so I could taste it. Put some in a piping bag. We're going to finish up the cake. We had some other buttercream. Bridget's already spread it on the outside. We cut the ends off so it looks pretty. We're going to make a pretty little decoration on the outside. See if I can get it to come out of the bag. Just little shells. Simplicity is the key in this recipe. And then down along the base, if you can follow right along in here. Go all the way around the cake. Those candied roses all set? Beautiful, Glenna. Here we go. Now these are some that we did earlier in the morning, because these have to be hardened. See how stiff these are? So we'll place these on the cake, and we'll pick out our prettiest ones. Make a log cake, the French classic log cake they serve on Christmas. So here we are, Lisa's cake.